It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got some history in this battle of AFL alumni. It's the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and for both of these teams that we're going to see, Charles, the future is kind of right now. You know, this is something you only see a handful of times in an NFL season where you've got a rookie quarterback versus a rookie quarterback.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the era we're in now, because our dads,
and he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their rookie QB, the young man out of Oregon.
his ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
A first carry now for Jaleel McLaughlin. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. To throw, here's Nix. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
A gain of 3, second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Throwing, Nix. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 42. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there, because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. On the handoff, McLaughlin. The 20, 5, and he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin, 42 yards. And the Broncos are on the board first here this afternoon.
Well, earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. So here are the Titans now for their first drive. And a glance here at their shifty mobile signal caller.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Riley Moss. And the Broncos are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. So with that pick, Charles, now they score here. You feel like they're really in the catbird seat in the first quarter.
Yeah, they certainly are, but think about it from the other side. They came into this game thinking they've got to keep up with their opponents, and after being down a score, what's one way to get it done? Fire right back at them. They took the shot. Didn't pay off at all.
So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 57 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Now they're making a real first quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Nix to the air. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Now it's Nix. For a left side, complete to Troutman. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 20, here's a 2nd and 5. A carry from McLaughlin. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
The give is to McLaughlin. And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Working out of the gun is Nix. And it's caught. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Good yardage on 1st down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? McLaughlin will take it in. Touchdown, Denver. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Titans coming back onto the field for their second drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game? Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 5. Operating from the gun. Moore. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd down and 6 now. Looking to throw. Moore. Continue. Here's another one intercepted. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
And Brandon, how many times have we talked with these rookies out there, and then we finally hear from them that the game slowed down and they're able to handle things? Not so far for this rookie, because right now, back-to-back drives, they picked him off. Not college football anymore. He's got to find a way to handle what these defenses throw at him.
Denver's offense now set to go. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw is Nix. A short one to the tight end, Troutman. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Nix. That's into the hands of McLaughlin. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
The key to any screenplay is all in the deception. And that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball, but someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
3rd and 8. Back to throw again. They'll set up the screen. It's McLaughlin. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
The kick by Lutz is good. And that'll make this 17-0 here in the opening quarter. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. Their quarterback leading this offense back out. And he's been off target here early on. 2 drives, 2 interceptions. They'll look to snap that streak here as they start 1st and 10. Over the middle, he has Okonkwo. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Throw to the right, caught by Okonkwo. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A busy first quarter. His third catch of the afternoon is a first down. Back to throw. Ward. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Ward. This pass complete to Pollard on the out route. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And that is caught. It's Ridley. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice or maybe even routes versus air because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Out of the gun to give to Pollard. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. During that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Looking to throw. Ward out to the right. He gets it to Lockett. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that'll bring up 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Field goal unit and Joey Sly now. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Sly able to put this one through. And they're on the board at least. So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD. And it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep.
Run what
Put
you
your
do
foot
best.
on the gas.
Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your...
It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go. They'll run. It's McLaughlin. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 92 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On the ground, here's McLaughlin. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. We've seen that before. Jeffrey Simmons making a stop behind the line.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play. And they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it. And he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And they won't get a chance to bring this one back. It goes out of bounds, back near their own 20. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Back to throw. Ward. And this one is incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw. Ward. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos offense and Jaleel McLaughlin headed onto the field. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down. Here's McLaughlin. And he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Back to throw. Nix looking left side, and he's got a man. That's McLaughlin. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even third down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
They'll run on first down. It's McLaughlin. He's got it to the 43 here.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
They'll keep it on the ground. McLaughlin, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Draymond Jones drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. That's a step in the right direction defensively here because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction, and that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that can ignite them, and now they can make a few more plays and get back into this game.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And this will pin him nicely inside the 20 as it's out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll look to throw again. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Titans first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
I like the fact that they didn't overcomplicate things on that call. 3rd and 2. Just run the quick little hitch, which they did. Ball's out of quarterback's hands. And yes, indeed, they pick up the first down.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Ward. And he will find Ridley on the left side. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off play action. Ward. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Ward. And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. And the Broncos force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ballgame.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's the guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll take this up near 4. 101 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Here's 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. It's McLaughlin, and he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
On first down, McLaughlin. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's McLaughlin. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. Give them 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They'll run on first down. McLaughlin, and he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. From the 33, here's a 2nd and 7. To throw, here's Nix. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd down and 2. In motion goes the tight end. 2nd and 2. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on. 3rd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available. An incompletion as a result.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Ward. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. So no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Now a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Ward. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 28. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Two yards to go, 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Ward. This complete to Lockett. Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Ward. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Calvin Ridley. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Titans get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Coaches must really like to see that from the quarterback because he's had the interceptions in this game, but they're able to connect on the touchdown pass.
And teammates love to see that because they know that they miss blocks during a game, but they come back and make them late. Right? They miss making plays, but the spotlight is magnified on your quarterback. And when he stands up to the pressure and comes back and throws a touchdown pass after throwing some picks earlier, they feel great about that guy.
And likewise for him personally, as a rookie quarterback, has to give him more confidence. The extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Broncos offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And he's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Everyone back for quarter number 3. The Titans going to get the ball to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back to it on EA Sports. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. It's caught. Lockett. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Pollard will take it up the gut, and he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Gonna run again here with Pollard. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll make it second down. Looking to throw. Ward. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's third down.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Back to throw now on first down. Pollard here once again, back-to-back catches. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
Second and 10. Back to throw. Ward, middle of the field to Jefferson. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 12-yard line. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Second and 6. This is caught. And the Titans are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Looking to throw. Ward. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Operating from the gun. Ward. Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. Calvin Ridley. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Titans are back within a score. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Now Joey Sly for the point after. It's up and good, and the lead's now down to 3 at 20-17. So that drive spans 13 plays. And it's Calvin Ridley who finishes it off with a touchdown reception. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The home team's offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here. And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
First down, here's Estime. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd down and 8. Up the middle they go. It's McLaughlin, and he is going to get this close to the first down markers. He's brought down at the Titans 31. 163 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Here now, 3rd and a yard. They'll keep it on the ground. McLaughlin, and down he goes, but the stiff arm utilized effectively there, and it helps him move the sticks. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On first down, it's McLaughlin, and he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Now it's Nix. This will be caught inside the 10. And the Broncos are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
Off the bootleg, here's Nix. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Adam Troutman from 8 yards out as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Lutz with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Titans offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. They did what they had to do to start this third quarter, went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score on offense? And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Now 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun. Moore, complete. Jefferson the target. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Back to throw again. And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. They'll drop this underneath to Pollard. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up second down. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions, and just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And they'll get to him just inside the 15, even after that strong run we witnessed. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Denver. It's Titan football here as they trail to begin the 4th quarter. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Moore, pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much.
And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Tony Pollard, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Titans have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Working out of the gun is Nix. Quickly into the hands of Mims. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Now a handoff up the middle. McLaughlin, they're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. To throw is Nix. Flush to his right. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. So there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter. Picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Throwing Nix. He targets Ingram for another grab. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Here's Nix. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on 3rd down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way, it worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Nix looking to throw again. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Here's 2nd and 10. On play action, here's Nix. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
The Broncos on third down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. To throw, here's Nix. Finds his tight end Ingram. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Nix to the air. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Now 2nd and 5. Off the bootleg. Nix. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Broncos are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains, because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Oh, how about this on 1st and goal? Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. And he is going to go down, back at the 11-yard line. Draymond Jones able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? They'll try and throw. Here's Nix. And this is going to be incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a 1-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
The kick by Lutz is good, and that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. Ward throwing to start the drive. This one brought in by Jefferson. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a 1st down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Moore. Over the middle. That's caught by Ridley. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Down to the 42, 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down at 6 now from the 42. Operating from the gun. Ward. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Back to throw now on first down. Throw out wide is incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Back to throw. Ward. It's caught. Lockett. And he's got a first down there after a gain of about 12 as the clock will stop right now for the 2-minute warning. Pollard going to try the right side. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here comes 2nd down. He'll look to throw. Throw to the right, caught by Okonkwo. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15, a gain of 3.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got a defense downfield.
Well, this crowd doing their best to make a lot of racket. It's 3rd and 5. He's got his target. That's complete. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. Here's 1st and goal. Back to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. Second and goal from inside the 5. He's back to throw. To the back of the end zone, but too high. Over everybody and incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Back to throw. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. They've got to burn the timeout, and they do, but a costly sack. And now maybe just time for one final play. Here we go. The noise deafening. 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. Down to a knee, one more doing. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.